Hi, this is Gloria, your life coach. Welcome to another episode of Life's a Shuffle.
Hey, this is Ron Johnson, your life coach, health coach, motivation speaker, and obviously life coach. So we're going to do today is going to be sorry, we're going to do today is going to be another freestyle Thursday, and we're going to discuss our changes. I have some big changes. Gloria has some big changes. The big change for me is I'm in Bellingham, Washington. I left California indefinitely. I moved here the first day I got here, and those that are in northwest, northeast, whatever it's called. It rained. So the first day I got here, it rained. Second day, it rained. Third day, it
Mhm.
rained. I
Mhm.
went from 80 to 88 degrees every day to now almost at nighttime in the high 40s, between 45 and 48. And during the day, it only gets between 50 and 55 degrees. I'm unprepared. I came from California, so we're used to shorts and t-shirts and tennis shoes. Out here, it's more or less pants, a sweater, and some waterproof shoes. That's for sure. So I'm definitely well unprepared. I will be stopping by REI and buying myself some winter gear because now winter will be coming soon, and definitely snows out here. That's one biggest thing that I'm going to be getting used to. Is I've been places that snowed, Fairbanks, Alaska, Anchorage, Alaska, and obviously a little bit of Utah too, up in the hills. But it will be snow, and more importantly, out here is because it rains, and during the wintertime it drops below freezing, so you have a lot of issues with black ice. So you got to make sure you drive slowly, follow your distance. The biggest thing I think about Bellingham I like so far is the fact that prices are relatively cheaper than California. Taxes, I think almost 10% California. Right here, we're about 865, so that makes a big difference. No state tax. Grocery store price a little more inexpensive. I found out one thing too. So I guess because in Bellingham, they have a fluctuation pricing for chicken breast. So when it rains during the wintertime, even though you still buy chicken breast, there's increase in pricing on chicken breast during wintertime because obviously chickens have to be raised inside, not outside. So that's one thing I'm getting used to. There's no place called Lean Feast where I can actually go pick up my food and order my meal prep. So I will be learning how to use Instant Pot and
Mhm.
cooking my food there, which I did the other day. It's not too bad. Now I'm a member of a new gym called Bellingham Fitness. I worked out there Saturday, Sunday, and today. I get there about between 5 and 6 a.m., which is me in and out kind of thing. People always ask questions how the gyms are nowadays. And the biggest difference I noticed is uh, hard to manage the gym situation. What I mean by this is that everybody has a different policy. American Barbell in Santa Clara pretty much is like this. You walk in, they check you in, and you work out, right? There's about 4 to 5 disinfectant stations, but no hand sanitizing stations. In Bellingham Fitness, so they have, first walk in, you have to get hand sanitizer first. Um, you go in, you check in. Before they let you in, you have to take a temperature right to the right when you check in. But right when you walk through, after you take your temperature, there's a disinfectant bottles with a towel. So you go around and wipe the equipment before and after. Everybody follows the same policy. More importantly, which is evident, is with American Barbell and Washington, Bellingham Fitness, is that you're required to wear a mask all the time, which is fine. I mean, there's going to be some that wear masks that don't. I think that's a big misconception that I'm seeing is I see a lot of older people working out too here at Bellingham Fitness, maybe because the demographics are a little bit different. You listen to the news and you listen to what old people stay home, you're more susceptible to getting sick. What I'm seeing is that people that no matter what age you are need some outlet to maintain their health. They need some outlet to maintain the physical readiness. And if you're a little older, you just got to maintain. All you got to do is basically the thing is be safe. Use hand sanitizer. Stay away from people. Wear a mask. Cardio machines and American Barbell are closed permanently for right now. Don't know when they'll open back up. Here in Bellingham, Washington, cardio's open. Every other machine. So I was able to hit the treadmill, hit the Stairmaster. I felt like that. I want to get back to cardio. I've done cardio in 6 months. But so far, I'm loving Washington. People are super friendly out here. You know what? It's funny how mind works. And what I'm funny by that is that we're told a lot of different things in life. And after this, Glory, you can jump in. I'm talking too much. Uh, I was the only black guy in Bellingham Fitness. And why am I thinking about that? I have no idea. I have no idea. Because the first thing you think about, oh, everybody's looking at me, a black guy. Where did that even come from? Like, where was I learned that? Like, I need to dive deeper into myself. Like, where I go places, how come I gotta say, oh, I'm an only black guy? Yeah, it could be possible. It could be impossible or not. Because vice versa, if I was at a place that had a lot all black people, I'd be like, oh, culture shock. I don't like that. So it's interesting how that the dynamic's happening, and my mind's thinking it. No one said something racist to me. I didn't see someone walking around with uh, what is this, a swastika, or people weren't acting indifferent. I didn't see none of those things, but our mind creates these freaking thoughts, and it just irritated me. Like, where does it come from? So I shake my head, get that out of my head. I worked out, and everybody maintained distance, and I had an amazing workout. Started my day off at 4 a.m. reading my book for half an hour. Then I shot to the gym and worked out for an hour and a half. And now I'm talking to you guys, so I love it.
I think that comes from, just growing up in the media and how just in the past, and it's natural. It just happens. It,
And
it's
that's
it, it doesn't mean that it's coming from a recent incident or anything like that. It's natural, and everybody goes through that. Everybody does that.
I think it's natural. Why? Why does it have to be that way? Why do I have to say, well, I'm the only black guy here? Why do I have to notice those kind of things?
Yeah, that's a good question, but it was the way we were brought up.
Yeah, so
It's
I think that stuff is
media. It's the
it's
media
media
too.
for sure. I think it's all about how, because the thing is, when it comes down to, I'm a human being, right? Who
Yeah.
cares about my skin color? But why do we gotta construct these? Oh, I'm a black guy. I'm a black guy here. Am I definitely looking for another black guy to talk to? No, I'm not. Let's think about something pretty funny. So on the way up here, we had to stop to get gas, and we stopped at this gas station. She went in to use the bathroom, and I was waiting in the car with my dog. And I see this black guy, and he says hi. I say hi. He says, "He from around here?" I said, "No, I'm not." And he says, "Oh yeah, 'cause I'm opening a soul food joint down the street in about a month." I want to say, "Hey, dude, how do you know I like soul food? Like, how do you know I like chitlins and collard greens and
Yeah.
all that? What if I
Yeah.
don't like soul food?" And it's funny how just because he thinks we're the same color, that I understand what he's talking about. Maybe he's just trying to tell me I have a soul food place. But what if I don't? He didn't have a conversation with me. That's my point. Is he didn't have one conversation with me if I like that. He just automatically thinks, okay, we're the same. I resonate with him. I don't.
Yeah.
I
It's
just
an
don't. I don't care if your skin
assumption.
color or not. If I don't resonate with you, I don't resonate with you. But has funny how our minds think these things, and I'm tired of thinking about it because I want to enjoy life, and I want less BS crowd in my mind. That's the point.
Yeah. It's going to happen. It's part of life. Anywhere you go, this is how it's going to be. You can't escape this. It's going to be like this no matter where you go in the world, because it's just the way things had just been. And
I say yes, I can escape it because no one can control my own thoughts but me.
but that's your thoughts, but I'm talking about more of like the physical stuff of it. Yeah, you can escape it with your own thoughts. You can change that and you can shift it. But what I'm saying is more like people, like other people, that, and not everyone thinks the same way as you do. Everyone
And
was brought up all differently, and that they stick with that. Some are just not ready for change, or they just don't change because they were brought up a certain way and they stick to what they know and what they've learned growing up.
that's that I would say is one flaw, is that because we didn't have a new version of consciousness or enlightenment, we expect everybody to have the same thing, and really no. Have you ever seen the movie Matrix? Now everybody wants to take the pill.
Mhm.
Some people want to go back to sleep, like the what's his name, the cop dude or whatever he was. He didn't like the reality. He wanted to go back to sleep.
Mhm.
And so you have a choice between blue pill or red pill, or whatever it is. I took the right bill. And I'm enlightenment. And some people are not willing to accept what they don't understand just yet. So that's my
Yeah,
thing.
I just, a lot of the times I just walk away from that. Like for me, it when it comes to that, when assuming who you are or what your ethnicity is, I get different kinds because I'm not as a Filipino. There's a certain look, or what, I don't know. I don't want to say typical, anyways, because every Filipinos look different, right? But
Hmm.
there's a certain look that a lot of people feel like a Filipino, how Filipinos look like. So I get different kinds of, I people will assume I'm Chinese or Korean or Vietnamese. I would rarely get Filipino. So if I get people coming up to me, either they speak to me in that language, or like what happened to you as far as food. I
Right.
I get that, and when it comes to Filipino dishes, I don't eat a lot of like Filipino dishes, a lot of authentic kind. I stick to basic. So if I go to a Filipino store, some of them will assume I'm not Filipino because, there's just certain foods that I don't eat, and I'll just pick the basic. Or um, they'll speak to me in English, but if I respond back in Tagalog to make it easier for some of them, they get surprised. Or yeah, it's interesting how that is, because I think what it is just a lot of these are assumptions people are assuming, because like what you said, that guy, he assumed that you like soul food. Why is he assuming you like soul food? Because you're black, right?
I,
See,
I
and
don't I don't know. I don't know the context behind that. I don't know if he's trying to sell his restaurant. You saw me. He says, "Hey, you like soul food?" I have no idea,
the way
and
I
that's a
look at
conundrum.
it is that because, oh, he's black, he must like soul food, and he's not going to know that there's probably rare soul food places around here. So here, I'm going to give it to him already. It's just, I think that's how I see it. Like, it's just no difference when someone comes up to me and speaks to me in a different language that I don't understand at all, and they keep forcing themselves. Why do you not speak this language? I've had this happen to me before. Why do you not speak this language? I said, because I don't speak it. Did they not teach you? Did I said no, because I'm not Chinese, or I'm not Vietnamese. I'm Filipino, so I don't speak it. And I remember having that running into that situation at a store, and then everyone, the workers there and even the cashier, they all started laughing. And then they spoke to me in English and said, because you know what, it's so funny. The whole time you're standing in line, we were assuming that you were. And
Interesting.
so um the person behind was already trying to talk to me so he can, get my order ready while I'm still in line. And I didn't know he was talking to me. And then they kept trying to yell something, and I'm just, like, standing there looking like, "What the fudge is going on here?" What is I go into, another store, like, there's a hole in a wall,
Mm-hmm.
and, I wanted some dim sum, so this place makes really good dim sum, so I go there, and you walk in there, they all already assume that you speak the language. So everyone in that line speaks the language, and all the workers speaks that language, and hardly speaks English. So now coming to me, I started to sweat because I just want like two things. But why is it so hard for me to get what I want? Because we're not understanding each other. How do we do this? So someone in line had to help me. And the lady just kept talking to me. And I said, I don't speak your language. I don't speak it. And then she kept talking to me. I felt like she's getting mad at me.
Wow.
But see, you see what I mean? How they assume. So yeah, that's just how it is. And and also I wanted to say, so you moved from smoky California to rainy Washington.
Yeah, I did, and I don't miss smoke. I don't miss traffic. I don't miss the prices. I don't miss, um, have your expression, a can of sardines, you're packed in there, and if you open a can of sardines, you're packed in there. In Bay Area, California, we are packed in there like sardines. You just can't have any space. It does not exist. And it's kind of odd. Funny thing is, so we are buying a house here in Bellingham, and we were meant to old owners, we'll be the new owners. And one person says, "Oh, I was asked about security and things like that." Oh, you know what? She's like, "I can't remember the last time you locked your door." I was like, "You last time you locked your door?" She's like, "Yeah, we're very safe here." I'm like, "Whoa!" And then she obviously gives more details. I'm from San Diego. I did the same thing. I moved out here. I'm like, "Wow, you don't lock your door?" Yeah, in Bay Area, you better lock your door. Matter of fact, you better triple and double check and have an alarm system, right? Because nowadays you don't know your neighbor, so no one wants out for anybody. For one,
Mhm.
especially in Bay Area. Second thing being is that you are like you get robbed if you're not careful. I mean, there's so many home invasions in Bay Area, or left and right. I mean, not just that. People breaking your car, just looking for anything you take. They're breaking your car, just open the glove compartment, say, see if you have anything of importance in there. People breaking your car to steal your registration, so you know where you live at. Kind of stupid things, and that's what you have to worry about. And up here, it's just totally different. And I'm still gonna lock my door. So even though one person is totally safe, yeah, great. I don't want to be one of those unsolved mysteries. Well, wow, this person lives in an affluent neighborhood, we're well-to-do neighborhood, and I can't believe this kind of crime happens here. Crime happens everywhere. Okay, I don't care what neighborhood you're in. Someone wants to steal something, they're gonna take it. So yes, I will still be locking my door.
Yep. Yeah. Well, it's different everywhere. That's the norm here in California. That's the norm there.
Yeah, it,
It's
it certainly
all
is.
it's all different. Everywhere you go, there's always going to be a different norm, and it could just be like 5 miles away. It's different.
Yep, it
Two
certainly can.
streets down, it's different.
Hmm.
So
Matter of
it's
fact, different counties can be different out here too.
and that too. And speaking of two streets down, like where my friend Jose lives, he lives in a nice neighborhood, and you like, yeah, I think it's about two streets, about 2 blocks away from where he is totally different. So
See.
much different where he tells me, "Don't ever go that way." and, and I get it. But I find that very interesting because it's like, how can they be so much different when it's only just 2 blocks away? And it's different. And like I said, like the experiences we have, and those thoughts that you were having when you were at the gym, it's just the way things were when we were growing up, the way we were brought up, the things that we see, probably the things that we were told. And again, it's the media. Sometimes the media just makes things so much more bigger than it is.
Oh
And
yeah.
that's why the kids nowadays are kind of getting into that as well. We try to get our kids out of that situation and not thinking that way, but we can't sometimes help that, it's going to be there. I mean, they have more better access than we did growing up. They have YouTube, and then the media is all over the place now, and it's just so much more in the social media. We didn't have any of that. And I remember thinking one day, like, is it that social media is so big now to a lot of the kids nowadays. That there's TikTok, there's the Instagram that we use for business, but they use it so they can follow their, I don't know, favorite celebrities or players, or they look at other people's, or they follow each other and they take pictures, and show off.
Hmm.
Um, we didn't have any of that. Even cell phones, I didn't have any of that stuff. So I was thinking, how was life? I actually had to think back, how it was like for me when I was their age, middle school and high school, and we didn't have any of that. And it was just, it's such a big change. And, things are still changing. It's still going to change 5 years from now, 10 years from now. It's going to be so much more different. And how things have changed a lot. A lot of the things I do like because it's made to be more convenient. Um, I remember when I first drove, we didn't have like GPS. So I remember I would type in the address online before I leave and then print it out. Then
MapQuest.
it just follow, yeah, and follow the direction. And I remember I sometimes I don't have a really good sense of direction. So if I miss that turn, I'm dead. And I'm just like, where the heck am I going now? And, back then it's like, I don't think about like, maybe if I turn this way, it'll bring me back to that street. If I'm lost, I'm lost. And I start panicking. I start sweating. Now it's like, this is why, okay, I do love the map on my phone now, Google Maps and all that. But back then we didn't have that. So it's just a lot more easier.
If you're going further, you can go back to the 90s. We just had, you had to either one. Everybody in the glove compartment had a couple of foldable maps in Thomas Brothers. And you had to buy one every couple of years because things change. Imagine you open a big map in the car trying to navigate where you're from. You have to know east, west, north, and south, right?
That's why we
And
had to learn that in high school. They don't learn maps anymore in school.
no, and there was no such thing as, so like MapQuest tell you, okay, 2 miles, 3 miles, 4 miles, point 0.5 miles. Back then you open Thomas Brothers map and you had to like kind of just navigate. After that
Mhm.
became the what came after that? Became the Magellans, the portable GPSs.
Mhm, mhm, I
After
remember
that
that.
came the GPS in the car, which became more expensive. But now cars by default come with GPS built in, and Magellan and what is it, navigation and all those are gone. It's obsolete because your phone does everything you want to do now.
Yep. Yeah, and I remember, recently, so I took my I went to a store, so I was buying a shirt for my son and my youngest son. There's a print on the shirt, the cassette tapes?
Yep,
Remember that? And then there's
remember
a
that.
pencil inside the hole.
Yep. So you
And
rewind the
and then
tape.
I looked at it, I was like, "Ooh, this is cool." And he's like, "What is that?" And I looked at him and I stared at him, and I was actually like, for a minute, I didn't, not even, just for a second, I blanked out because he asked me, "What is that? Why is there a pencil in the middle of that?" And I was like, don't you know what this is?" He's like, "No." So I had to explain it. And then he said, "Why is there a pencil in the hole?" I said, "Because back then, if we were going to rewind the tape, we use the pen or pencil to
Pencil.
rewind it, or we use our pinky to rewind it."
Yeah, I remember those days.
I was cracking up. I was like, "Man, whatever happened to those days?" But that just goes to show we're getting older, and things are definitely, definitely changing a lot.
And relatively speaking, change can be good depending upon what is
Mhm.
being changed, and change can be relatively bad depending on again what's being changed. And we just talked about GPS, and we talked about how that helps us now, right before we get lost. But now also, what's kind of always go back to that balloon scenario. When something expands, other end shrinks, right? Or if you squeeze one end, other end pops out. So as we have social media and all these great things, a lot of misinformation and disinformation is happening right now too. We don't know what's real. So someone posts something on social media which can be totally not real. Someone may believe it's real
Mhm.
until you do your fact check. Okay, well I see this. Let me do some fact checking. Check it out. What I'm seeing too is communication. There's a major divide. If you just compare Bellingham, Washington to Bay Area, in Bay Area, if you're not a cell phone or they don't know you, you can predict for sure they're not going to say hi or look you in the eye. Again,
Mhm.
if you're not a friend or they don't know you, you're not a cell phone, they're going to say hi to you. Out here, you don't see people walk around with cell phones in their hand. In Bay Area, it's abundant. The neck leaning forward, walk around your cell phone is. I remember a couple of times almost hitting somebody because they're walking in I pretty much a lane right on the street, and they don't know that's car behind them because they have the AirPods in, they're playing the music or they're listening to something. You have to join it. Oh, there's someone behind me. Yeah, move. You're not supposed to walk on the street, walk on the sidewalk. Um, it's out here you don't see that, and people actually talk to you and people actually ask how's your day. I've been a couple of Starbucks already because I've been out here, and what you got planned today? How's your day going? You rarely see that at Starbucks. It's like frappuccino on this, no Gloria, and then they'll come get you a frappuccino, whatever it is. No one actually stops to smell the roses, I guess you would say.
Well, and also you're comparing 2 different places. One is really huge and big, and the other one it's very small. So, when you come from a small place like that, everybody knows each other. Everybody talks to each other. And when you talk about, let's say, a big area here, Bay Area, the Silicon Valley, it's a busy place. Everyone's here to basically to work. That's what Silicon Valley is.
Hmm.
And that's why it's called, I guess, the Silicon Valley, because all the high tech companies are here, right? So they come here, they're busy with work. Everyone's always on the go. Everyone's always running around, either headed to work, or they can't be late for work. They got to drop off their kids to school and then head to work themselves and then pick up their kids and then, activities and then back to work again and then meetings. So it's everyone here in the area. I should say, I don't want to say Bay Area because not the whole Bay Area is like this. I would say maybe the Silicon Valley is like that, is how what you were describing. And I think, like, when you talk about Bellingham, it reminds me of in Hawaii. So Hawaii is pretty big, but everyone there is very, very nice. So much different here. Um, they don't have to know you to talk to you. The hospitality everywhere you go in the hotels and in stores, pretty much the same. They'll open the door for you. They'll say hi. They'll say good morning. You'll always see a smile on everyone's face, and everyone is super friendly and just laid back. So then you compare Hawaii to Silicon Valley. Hawaii is very laid back. You don't see anyone there in a rush all the time. Speed limit on the freeway is 55.
Wow.
Yeah. So what's the speed limit here in California? 65, but everyone's going like 75, 80. That's the normal for them. No
Wow.
one, like, hardly anybody drives 65. But yeah, so you go to Hawaii, you're driving the freeway 55 miles per hour. If there's a
Wow.
big traffic and you need to get in, you will be for sure someone will let you in. You don't have to fight trying to get in and switch lanes. Someone will let you in,
That does not
you
that
know?
happens here, and when you think about what you're talking about right now, I don't want that. I'll be honest, I don't want that. It's just not Hawaii, but the Bay Area stuff. I don't want that anymore. I mean, it
It's
was great.
it's it's just not you anymore, you know?
No,
So
it's not
that's
me.
we talk about changes, that's part of the changes that's happening to you. It's just not you. Whereas for some people, you have people trying to get into the Bay Area, they're excited to come here, but they don't know what they're walking into. They don't know what they're coming into. Those people are ready for change, you know? I know some people that lives in Hawaii that can't wait to come here because they're ready for that change. And speaking to someone that lives there, just says, I drove around the islands. I was driving around the islands one day thinking what I need to do with my life because nothing's happening here for me. And I've lived in Hawaii my whole entire life. This is just not me anymore. So, what's the next step for him? He thinks it's here in the Bay Area. Then go ahead and try it. You've got nothing to lose. You
No,
have
you
no
don't.
kids, you have no, family, you're single, so why not? And that's the thing. And so people go through changes as you reach a certain age. I think that's what happens, whereas with me, I go through changes. I'm happy where I'm at. I'm not going to say that, the Bay Area or living here has not done anything good for me, but this is my home and this is what I call home because this is where I've always been. And I grew up here, and although I like going to other places, the other place I like to go to is Hawaii. But would I want to live in Hawaii um for the rest of my life? Probably not. I don't see that, but I would just love going there and visiting and just hanging out. But living there, I don't see myself living there. Maybe not now. So then, but the changes, it's different. So you're ready for a change. You're ready to move on. This is just not you anymore. Just like how this other person I know, it's just not him. And look at my best friend. She thought the Bay Area is just not her for her anymore. She moved, she changed, but now 2 years later, she still hasn't fully adjusted that life that she has when she left here and she moved to a smaller town.
Because she had her mind hope set on a certain expectation. And when that expectation didn't hit the mark, that where suffering starts.
Yeah, I think sometimes the expectations is what kind of messes it up for you a little bit, Um, just yeah, if you set a certain expectations, I think that's what it is. And if your expectations is not met, then you know that's what happens.
Yeah, it does. And I came here with, yeah, you're right. I'm definitely in my life right now. It's going through a lot of changes. I mean, a lot of changes. And it's really nice. I mean, I'm accepting, embracing what's happening. And like, what's her name? Joy Soto said, fantastic. So I'm going through some changes. Fantastic. Because you know what? It's for my benefit.
Hmm.
So that's what I'm going through right now. I'm enjoying it.
And you just enjoy it. Just enjoy the changes. Like I sometimes we go through certain changes like this in our life, and we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what to expect. But I think if it's making you happy, like I think this is what I said in the podcast with Joy too, is just kind of following your heart. If this is what your heart tells you, and if you're feeling fulfilled and satisfied and it's making you happy, then you did the right thing and you made the right choice. Because otherwise, if you're just listening to what your mind is telling you, you know that it's not right because you're not going to be happy.
Perfect. See, I love that. So I'm listening, following my heart, following my gut. Actually, I'm following what I want. So I think that's because you know what, 2020 was my breakout year. Meaning that I'm not gonna let anything hold me back that used to hold me back. And 2020 will be the bang out year. Like you said
You're gonna
yesterday,
enter the year with a bang. That's what
it's
I
like
always say. Yeah,
it's like
hit it
hitting
with a
that
bang.
like the Mark McGuire hitting those grand slams and home runs
Show
back in
me the money.
show me the money, right?
Yeah.
So, you know what, guys, thanks you for listening to another episode of Life Shuffle Freestyle Thursday. It's great to at least air out what's going on, that weight off your shoulders, and get a different perspective, and knowing that everything is okay and you're exactly where you should be at the right time, not a minute sooner, not a minute later. Just trust the process, and if you want something, you really just have to go after it.
Yeah, but before we end this, I just wanted to bring up one more thing that I think what I think it's also a good change that came into your life, which is we had your son and you finally had a conversation with him, which kind of broke the ice. So we had him on our podcast, um, which should be coming out, right?
I'm probably ready today. I probably will may post tomorrow, Wednesday, because I like to
Yeah.
kind of
So
stack things out.
yeah, so I think that is another good change for you is that I wouldn't really say reconciling with him because it's not like you've never really lost touch with him, but kind of like, you know, rebuilding something maybe with him and yeah, maybe that's what I'm trying to say.
You know what? I think it is, of course, rebuilding something. And I ordered his iPhone yesterday, or both their iPhones, so we can build a relationship. So, like I said, this is the right time. This is the first time we were able to get on a podcast and talk and get some things aired out, because I had a lot of assumptions about the way he thought about me for so many years,
Yeah.
and it's gone. Now they're old enough, I can talk to them. It's not like the babies anymore. So actually, it's a great thing.
And now they're older because then and now with when they get their own phones, so you can actually just call them directly. They can call you directly, and you don't have to have anybody in the middle that you have to go through now. And I think that this is what was bound to happen. It was just a matter of time as they got older, and now they have a mind of their own. And and glad that they were able to um, reach out to you. And I think what Ronald did was follow his heart. He wanted to reach out to you. He's probably been wanting to do that since he was younger. He just had no idea how to do it. Um, Now with the social media, that was the best. Social media is one of the best things that happened, I guess, for you and him, and to reconnect you guys. And so this is another big change for you. So congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm ready
Okay.
for the next chapter. So it's great. I'm excited.
Yeah. All right. So I think this is our freestyle Thursday and still no beatboxing.
No, no B box. I'm not ready for that yet.
Oh, we're going to be waiting for years for that.
Probably so. Keep waiting.
All right.